Hey, everybody, you're here because you're interested in travel. And it doesn't matter if you're looking to travel domestically, maybe you want to go across country to see family and friends, catch a concert or a ball game, or visit one of our wonderful national parks. You might set your sights a little further afield. Maybe you're looking to go to Africa or Europe or Asia or South America. But one thing we know is no matter whether you're traveling domestically or internationally, travel is not cheap. It is expensive. Today, I want to cover what I think is the number one strategy for helping travelers save the most amount of money. You can save literally hundreds or thousands of dollars on nearly every trip you take. The strategy we're going to be discussing today is travel credit cards and the points you can earn from them. We're going to talk about who they're for, how they're different from other credit card points, and what makes them so valuable. We're going to discuss how to redeem those points, and I will show you exactly how my wife and I saved $5,800 on this upcoming trip. Then we're going to talk about what those actual credit cards are that you can start looking into. Now, who are travel credit cards for? Anyone from 18 to 80. It doesn't matter if you're a young adult, a young harried parent, mid-career, late career, or empty nesters like me and my wife. Now, with that comes a warning. Credit cards can be very polarizing. And I know as a young man, my mother would tell me, you get one credit card, it's for emergencies only, don't carry a balance, don't spend on it, it's only if you're ever desperate. Early on, that was great advice. As I've become more financially mature, I understand that credit cards can be a tool that can work in my favor. So here's the warning. Understand how credit cards work. In later videos, we'll do a deep dive in how credit cards work, how you should pay them, when you should pay them. The main thing is we're not trying to spend extra money to get travel points. We only want to spend the money we spend day in and day out for things like gas, groceries, entertainment, utilities. Those are the kind of things that we want to spend money on. So don't go spending a bunch of money you don't have. Treat it kind of like cash. Credit cards, they do carry significant interest fees if you carry a balance. So don't carry a balance. Make sure, like cash, you can pay it off at the end of your pay period. By carrying a balance and not paying off on time, at worst, you can dilute the value you get out of your points. And at worst, you can find yourself in real credit card trouble. So please be smart. Please educate yourself. I will do my best to help you with that in future videos. So now moving forward. So what is a travel credit card and why is it so valuable? Well, first of all, travel credit cards allow you to earn in an ecosystem that has very flexible redemption opportunities. So unlike a branded card for Hotel X or Airline A, where you can only spend your points at that hotel or at that airline, travel credit cards allow you to use transfer partners, whether it be multiple airlines or hotel properties. This allows you to be able to be flexible with your points. And in so doing those transfers, you can even gain more value than the points you earned. And we'll get more into that in our example later. So that flexibility is what really sets travel credit cards and travel ecosystems apart from branded credit cards or other ways of redeeming your points. So we're all familiar with earning points on loyalty cards at a restaurant or a coffee shop, or you should be with credit cards, right? The more money you spend, the more points you get. So one thing we want to do is when we have travel credit cards is we want to get those with earning categories that match our normal spending needs. When we had our family of 4, we spent a lot on groceries. So we had credit cards where we had a multiplier and made 3 or 4 times points on every grocery dollar we spent. My wife and I like to go out to have dinner. So we have a credit card where we get more points for dinner if we spend on utilities or streaming, those kind of things. So that's all great to keep those points coming in. But the main place where you really get the most bang for your buck in travel credit cards is, wait for it, having multiple cards, getting new cards and getting those welcome bonuses. Now, I know that can be a little scary for some of you guys, and it was for me as well, but good education will help you rock through this, okay? Getting welcome bonuses on a new card can bring you anywhere from 20,000 to 120,000, 150,000 points that you can spend on future travel. We also have to be aware of things like annual fees, what kind of benefits we get, what are our multipliers. Those are all things you're going to need to take into consideration when you get a new card. In a future video, we will dive deep into those annual fees and what cards are better for beginners, intermediate, and advanced users. But suffice it to say that my wife and I have a two-player program where she gets a card and then I get a card. The key to that, like I said earlier, is making sure that you pay those cards off and that you don't overspend. So now we're going to look at an example of how we save $5,800 on this upcoming trip. But first, we're going to understand how we calculate the value of the points that we earn. And we're also going to look at different ways to redeem those points so you can judge which one works best for you. Now, keep in mind, we're talking about travel. So we want those points redemptions that earn us the most for travel. There may be something on here, maybe you have a cash flow issue at the moment and you think that paying down your bill is the best for you. That's fine. You go ahead and do that. What we're really talking about is that when you're ready and looking to save for travel, I'm going to show you the best ways to save that money. Now, as we calculate our value, what we're looking for is anything that earns 1 cent per point or greater. If we can earn that 1 cent per point or greater, then it's probably a good place to spend your money. If you can get more than 1 cent per point, you are really raking in some value. So just keep that in mind. The benchmark when we talk about travel credit cards for value is 1 cent per point. You're good. Anything above that is fantastic. As we move forward, all the examples that I'm giving you have come from either Chase Ultimate Rewards or from American Express membership rewards points. And then we're going to get into my personal one. So that will be all stuff that we've actually done. So here we go in how to calculate your points. One way to redeem your points is through cash back or paying down your bill. So let's see how this works. First of all, we're going to do a $10 charge that we're going to pay off. So we're going to multiply that charge by 100. Then we're going to divide it by the amount of points it will take to pay off that charge. Once we run that, we find that we get a point value of 0.6 cents. Our next redemption option is going to be a gift card. Now we can see on this gift card that we spent $25. We're going to multiply that times 100 and divide it by the amount of points it takes to get the gift card. We're at 5,000 points for this $25 gift card, and that gives us a cent per point value of 0.5 cents. Not very good. If you just don't want to spend cash, go for it. It's maybe better than spending cash, but if you're really looking at travel, then we want to avoid this. Our second option is also a gift card, and that one is going to be for $50. So we're going to multiply that times 100 again. But as we see here, it's that same 5,000 points for that $50 gift card as the $25 gift card. When we do the math, we earned 1 cent per point. So that is not a terrible way to redeem your points. So now we're going to look at my own personal point redemption. And this is going to be a round trip from Atlanta to Munich. Now, first of all, we wanted to fly Delta. I'm very comfortable with Delta. It had a round trip, a direct flight, so that made it great. So when we looked at the ticket prices for Delta, we found out it was $2,100 a ticket or $4,200 for me and my wife to fly. That is a lot of money I did not want to come out of pocket on. So my next option is to look at my branded points for Delta, which are Sky Miles, and see if that will save me some money. Let's see what happens. As you can see, Delta wanted 194,000 Sky Miles plus $170 per ticket. So this is going to come out to 388,000 Sky Miles and $340 per ticket. $340 beats the heck out of $4,200 any day. But let's calculate our value and see what we earn. So, same process, our $4,200 ticket price. Understand that every time you buy an airline ticket with points, you are going to pay some taxes and fees. So that is going to be as low as $5 and as high as $200, maybe higher. You can see here that we had a $340 charge for taxes and fees. So to really understand our value, we're going to have to pay that money. We need to subtract it out of that $4,200 cost. Then we're going to divide it by the cost of our tickets. That's 388,000 Sky Miles. And then we're going to multiply that out and find out that we got 1 cent per point. So this isn't bad. 1 cent per point and we save $3,800. But are there other options? Are there travel credit card options that we can use that aren't branded. Can we save more there? Well, let's look and see. Quick recap, $4,200 cash or 388,000 Sky Miles plus $340. Now, our next option is a little more complicated, but let's see how it works out. I have Chase Ultimate Rewards. I had those points and wanted to see if I could use them on Delta. Now, unfortunately, Delta is not a transfer partner of Chase. I cannot transfer those points from Chase to Delta for a ticket. Doesn't work. Is there another route that I can use to get there? Well, I want to look at Delta Alliance members. Airlines are in alliances. And those alliances allow them to work with partner airlines to cover places they don't normally go and to keep prices down and to get more people traveling. And part of what they do is you might be able to get a ticket on airline A, but you're actually getting it on airline B. Let me show you how that works. So as we see here, Delta is a member of the SkyTeam Alliance. 15, 16 other airlines. And so what I had to do was go do some looking to see if any of these other airlines actually sold that exact same ticket on Delta through their website for the Delta flight. And what I found is that Virgin Atlantic had that flight. I could go to Virgin Atlantic and buy that Delta flight through Virgin Atlantic and still fly that exact same flight on Delta. It's a little confusing, but let me show you how this works. So here we are again. We have Chase and Delta. They don't play well together. But Virgin Atlantic is an alliance partner of Delta. So now what that tells me is I can use Chase points through Virgin Atlantic to buy this Delta ticket. I've already looked it up. I can do it. Let's see what it comes out. Virgin Atlantic wants 60,000 points per ticket and $192 per ticket. So that's going to give me a total of 120,000 Chase, or once I transfer them, Virgin Atlantic points, and $384. Okay, a lot less points, a little bit more money, but does it lower my cost more than spending Sky Miles? Well, if it does, that's the option we're going to choose. And then we might be able to save the all important dollar, right? Okay, let's go do the calculations and see how this works out. So, first of all, $4,200 minus our taxes and fees, which is $384, divided by our points. Our points come out to be 120,000 Chase Ultimate Reward or Virgin points. So we do the math on this and we find out that we have earned a whopping 3.18 cents per point. We have more than tripled our value using Ultimate Rewards points through Virgin Atlantic to Delta versus using Sky Miles directly with Delta. That's a huge savings. If I can fly globally for 120,000 points or somewhere thereabouts versus nearly 400,000 Delta points, then that's a huge savings. And I can take multiple trips in the future or use that for hotels or rental cars or different things that are going to save me money. I now have the choice to use those as I see fit. So now what we're going to do after this is we're going to talk a little bit about how we used points also on our hotels. I'm going to show you that so that you can see where we saved our money and how we are literally saving $5,800 on a trip to Germany. So we'll be staying 14 days in Germany. We'll be in Bamberg for 4, Munich for 5, and Garmisch-Partenkirchen for 5. In Munich, we were able to save $978.24. Now, we'll also be spending 5 days in Garmisch-Partenkirchen, and we were able to save $1,052.18 there. So all told, our total savings for this trip was $5,846.24. That's a huge savings, $5,800. That's a mind-numbing amount of money that we saved on this trip that we'll be able to use on future trips, just pay bills to live life, that kind of thing. So we're talking about all this money you can save. But which credit cards should you be looking at? Well, there's a lot of different credit cards, but the 3 premier credit card brands that are out there right now for travel are Chase, which earns ultimate rewards points. And I'll put some of their cards right here for you to look at. The next credit card is American Express, and they earn membership rewards points. And here's the ones you'll be looking for right here. And finally, we have Capital One Miles. And these are the ones you'll be looking at right here. In future videos, we're going to talk about the pros and cons of each of these cards and try to help you make a good decision on which ones you should start out with, depending on where you are in life, what you want to be doing, what you want to accomplish. But those are the first three brands of travel credit cards that should be on your short list. Now, if you're still with me, I absolutely appreciate it. And I would ask you to go ahead and drop a like and subscribe. It helps the algorithm. Let's be honest. This is my first video. I ain't got no algorithm. So any likes and subscribes would be greatly appreciated. If you're interested in a credit card, I do have referral links down in the subscription. I do get bonus points through the credit card company for that, just to be honest with you. But if that's something you would like to do, again, that would be greatly appreciated. For now, that's all I've got. I hope you have a great day. God bless.